Hey y'all, welcome back to TNT Reactions. I'm your girl Tasha.
What's up, T?
So today we are talking about Cat Williams' rampage on the whole industry in Hollywood.
Yikes.
And so apparently,
so who's he talking about today?
Chris Tucker.
Oh no.
I love Chris Tucker. I remember when I found out that he was from Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
And he was in Friday, and I was just so proud.
Yeah, everybody in Atlanta was proud of him.
Yeah, so
hometown hero.
I'm scared to hear what he has to say about Chris Tucker because I haven't listened to the entire podcast of the Shay Shay Show. But Cat Williams has been all over TikTok, all over YouTube, talking about people who in the Illuminati. He went after not only Chris Tucker.
He went after Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Ludacris.
Yes, another Atlanta favorite.
Right,
so is he tearing them down?
Man,
is he punching down?
A lot of people after watching it, they had some very nasty things to say about Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
so
there's the stealing of jokes and everything.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see what's going on, y'all. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's go.
The Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker. Nice. If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest.
Turns out Williams may not have been lying about Chris Tucker having a history with the very controversial Epstein, and the confirmation came from the actor himself.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Oh my God. You know, we flew.
But the big question is, why is this even such a big deal? Well, here's why.
Come on. They not giving any kind of context. They cut him off before he said anything. He could have said like, yeah, I was on a charter plane and I flew next to him and that was it.
Yes, this is cut up a lot.
Many high-profile figures may have been dreading has happened as dozens of big names have been revealed in the first wave of documented convicted offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Tell me, how many times have you seen someone star in a movie franchise that broke all the records for years and even had installments to it, get up and leave the entertainment industry without looking back? Not a lot. Well, this was Chris Tucker's story. Initially, we thought his decision to exit Hollywood came from a place.
This got to be like an AI.
Definitely, because she said Epstein.
Of touching the highest of heights, which made sense since he had his face on the covers of major productions. But Cat Williams has just revealed that we might not have been entirely correct. It seems having the type of success he did opened him up to a world of access to all the deepest secrets of the entertainment industry. And if we're to take Williams's word for it, this site might have been too ugly for Tucker to handle. To most people, when the name Chris Tucker comes up, the first thing that usually comes to mind is, for those that do know him well enough, is stand-up. For others who might not know his history well enough, Rush Hour is the first thought. The thing that both sides have in common is that they're aware he became immensely successful in both professional pursuits, especially considering that decades after, his stand-up shows and his movie with actor Jackie Chan are still getting views like they aren't from an entirely different generation. And while his Rush Hour partner went on to star in an almost endless list of movies, Tucker decided to hang his boots. This singular move from this global superstar has left several people, fans and fellow celebrities alike, with questions about what makes a man with that much potential in front of him decide not to pursue it. This conversation has already gone back and forth on social media.
He could be tired.
Well, all right. So I thought that, all right, first of all, I really didn't associate Chris Tucker with stand-up comedy.
No.
I know that he did the Def Jam special, and maybe older people who followed his career associate him.
Friday.
Yeah, but Friday was the first time that I seen him, and then the Rush Hour series. But to my understanding, he stopped acting because his movie started flopping, and he wasn't getting good roles, and then he owed a lot of money for a tax bill because he mismanaged his money.
Well, that's why you should get back to work. And that's why he did start working again in his later years. He was in that movie about Jordan signing with Nike.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it.
With people claiming that the most probable reason for his decision was that he already made more money than he could ever need off of the projects he already made. This, if we're to believe what Cat Williams has just said, couldn't be further from the truth. It seems Tucker realized that the perception he had of Hollywood coming up in the industry was miles away from his reality when he became one of the big names himself. Now, many people may be hesitant about believing Williams' side of this story because, let's face it, he doesn't exactly have a history of staying out of controversy. But what tips the scales slightly in his favor is that the claims he made about Tucker already have their foundation in published reports involving several of the biggest names in the industry, and even the world at large.
Only 40 of an expected 250 documents have been released so far, but Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Stephen Hawking, Donald Trump and Michael Jackson are already among the names made public.
I'm sorry. They are so nothing.
What?
Why they use that
Stephen
picture
Hawking
of,
can't get girls?
I'm not saying he can't. Why they use that picture?
That's what he looked like.
I know what Stephen Hawking.
That's what I'm saying.
He was on the Big Bang Theory.
He was, but he was in a wheelchair. And
I know.
I mean, he couldn't change the way he looked.
But they didn't have to do that to him. Jeez. I mean,
throughout the years, several people have told us that the entertainment industry isn't really what it poses to be on the outside to people who aren't there. And more times than not, we've doubted these claims. These days, they aren't just claims anymore. Several pieces of evidence have been coming out to confirm the stories. And in the spirit of revelations being made, it seems Chris Tucker might have known a lot more about the dark side of this industry than he'd been letting up. Tucker's rise to fame was nothing short of a wild roller coaster ride.
Don't be asking the questions, old man. Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes,
He originally became a frequent guest on the legendary Def Comedy Jam in 1992, showcasing his exceptional, clean stand-up comedy routines. Unlike many comedians of the time who relied on vulgar humor, Tucker's comedic style was a breath of fresh air, witty, sharp, and family-friendly. It wasn't long before Tucker's talent caught the attention of the silver screen. In 1994, he made his film debut in House Party 3, rubbing shoulders with the likes of Bernie Mac, Marquez Houston, and Condi Alexander. But
he was in House Party 3?
That was because nobody watched House Party 3.
I'm thinking about House Party.
It wasn't as good as the first and second one.
Oh, okay, because I'd never seen House Party 3.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What
It started going down.
Wasn't until much later that Tucker would get to a point he could truly leave a mark with one of his most notable and side-splitting performances on Friday, among others. However, the man seemingly exited the limelight with the same speed it took him to get in. And according to Cat Williams, this might have been tied to him getting exposed to the dark side of the industry. Williams suggested that Tucker had traveled to convicted ex-offender Jeffrey Epstein's Island, where the late financier was running an ST ring with partner Ghislaine Maxwell. In a new viral interview on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay, the Friday After Next star spoke about why it would be hard to make another Friday movie due to the many great people that have passed on since the original films. However, Williams said Tucker, who is still alive, is no longer the same person he was when he originally portrayed Smokey in the 1995 cult classic. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island's Chris Tucker, not Smokey, Williams said.
The Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
What makes Cat's story so far?
But the other thing is that when he was playing the character Smokey, he was still like really young.
Yeah, and you can't expect him to be the same person.
Exactly, or even wanting to act in that character because he's kind of like matured since then.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, when he was doing Smokey, he was barely getting jobs, or even having a career, and then after that doing Rush Hour, where he was getting paid like $20 million a film. But
he's saying not that he's like a different person because of that. He's a different person because
he went to Epstein Island.
Hollywood.
Oh, because he became a part of it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Far from a lie is that there were also dozens of high-profile names that appeared in the previously sealed court documents related to Epstein, which featured the names of over 170 associates of the convicted ST. For those who may not have been aware, ever since billionaire Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on July 6th on charges of ST, the media have been scrambling to make sense of what happened on Little St. James, his 70-acre private island in the Caribbean. But on nearby St. Thomas, locals say Epstein continued to bring underage girls to the island as recently as this year, a decade after he was forced to register as a convicted SO, and that authorities did nothing to stop him. 2 employees who
Couldn't have
worked at
been
the
this
local
year.
airstrip on St. Thomas
No,
tell
maybe
Vanity
it's
Fair
old.
that they witnessed Epstein
It
boarding
can
his
be.
private
Oh.
plane on multiple
then it's a
occasions
mistake.
in the company of girls who appeared to be under the age of consent. According to the employees, the girls arrived with Epstein aboard one of his 2 Gulfstream jets. Between January 2018 and June 2019, previously published flight records show the jets were airborne at least 1 out of every 3 days. They stopped all over the world, sometimes for only a few hours at a time: Paris, London, Slovakia, Mexico, Morocco. When they left St. Thomas, the employees say, they returned to airports near Epstein's homes in Palm Beach and New York City. On multiple occasions, I saw Epstein exit his helicopter, stand on the tarmac in full view of my tower, and board his private jet with children. Female children, says a former air traffic controller at the airstrip who asked to remain anonymous. One incident in particular really stands out in my mind because the girls were just so young. They couldn't have been over 16. Epstein looked very angry and hurled his jacket at one of them. They were also carrying shopping bags from stores, not on the island. I remember thinking, where in the world have they been shopping? According to the recently released documents, some of the celebrities whose names had come up for having been guests on the island ranged from powerful political figures all the way to some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, including the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, Donald Trump, and Michael Jackson, who, if I might add, Cat Williams revealed to have been best friends with Chris Tucker.
To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think that?
Seeing as these people, who you could say ruled the entertainment industry at different points, were the ones mentioned, it's not far-fetched to think that Tucker might have landed an invite to the island since he was also at the top of his game back when he was still in it. Well, several fans seem to buy Williams' story, claiming that they had known something was fishy about Tucker even before now. One of these people wrote, "I've always thought Chris Tucker walking away from Smokey because he didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed was so stupid, especially in the 90s00s. Others are saying Tucker is just one of many people on a black book and might not be as innocent of it all as we think. They wrote, I'm telling y'all, some are surprised or still in denial, but Trump and his family have been in the black book, which was released a while ago and redacted. And yes, Chris Tucker is in it too. Damn." However, some fans also stood up to Tucker's defense, claiming that he didn't actually go there to partake in the dark activities. One person wrote, "Nah, we ain't doing that. Chris Tucker was Bill Clinton's friend. They did humanitarian work with Bono for a spell there. They just used Epstein's plane." I mean, if Chris
Bill
Tucker
Clinton
really
was on
did
the
go there
list.
for a completely different reason, I ask you, is it so unthinkable that the things he saw other big names in the industry indulge in might have been what sent him on his heels out of the industry? Most of his fans on the internet don't think it's entirely unlikely, but there are still so many levels to this story that raise even more questions. Nonetheless, what do you think? That's it for this video. Goodbye.
There is no way you can go to that island and not know what was going on.
Right, and that's the thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of these celebrities knew what was going on. Jeffrey Epstein had a reputation, the same as Harvey Weinstein. Like, all of these Hollywood people have a reputation, so people know what's going on. They're just not going to speak on it. And as far as the Epstein Island and that whole situation goes, I heard that it was basically an extortion ring. They were luring celebrities or people of influence there for sex, and would videotape or record or whatever, and later it was used as extortion. And I'm pretty sure that there is way more to this story than what they're leading on, and that they're not going to disclose. Like, they had his book, the Black Book or the List or whatever,
For a long time.
For a while.
Release all the names.
But then, no, they're not going to release all the names or all the details of the information, because they were like, oh, Bill Clinton and Trump were on the list, but they didn't do anything. And
Is that
I mean,
what they said?
That's what they said. And both of those guys are notorious for doing stuff.
Doing things.
Doing things, right. So, I mean, it is what it is. Unless they have hardcore proof that he was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing.
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation, and it don't change my view or perspective of Chris Tucker. You know, because a lot of people hung out with Epstein, and not all of them were going to his island to do stuff with underage girls.
I mean, that's what Naomi Campbell said, because she was on the list too. But it makes you think.
But she was dating a dictator, like a warlord or something.
Maybe that's why they went. I don't know. I don't know their life. But I'm thinking there's higher even higher ups on this list, which is why it's still being
Yeah,
protected.
absolutely. I think that what they were doing was a lot of people were targeted. They were targeted to come to his island, and they would seduce them with girls. And maybe they went into a room where they thought it was private and it was really recorded or
still wrong
or whatever, and they got them, you know. And so now it's like you're in their pocket. You're in Epstein's pocket.
I mean, the thing is, if they still did it, is wrong.
Yeah.
This is just sick.
But the thing of it is, all right. So then there's this thing. All right. So they're talking about how there were underage girls on the island, but there were probably already girls who were of age. So not everyone was underage. And the other thing is that they probably just got politicians, actors, musicians, whoever, with women, period. Because nobody wants to be filmed doing the do, you know. And so that's, you know, bad enough. You say, hey, we recorded you. Now you got to do stuff for us, you know, cough up $1 million. There was some story in there about how he was trying to extort Bill Gates.
Oh, maybe he did.
You know, he was trying to get Bill Gates to pay for something. It's really crazy.
This is just, I feel like the world is just weird. People are weird.
It is.
And that's why you can't put people on the pedestal.
Nah.
Like these celebrities, as funny and as talented as you think they are, they're still human and they still can be bad people.
Right. Well, there you have it. So, guys, leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this. Does this change your view or perspective of Chris Tucker? We want to know. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.